Good evening. It's another day of the ESL Pro League. We've got some pros to go ahead and do battle in a battle of, well, 4 maps. That's what you have to look forward to today. God, it feels like only yesterday we were talking about the Pro League, and it just continues. It keeps rolling. We had Super Sunday. We were going to be bringing you 12 games, and now we do bring you just 4 today, of course, over the course of Monday. Gentlemen, Chad Birchall and Mr. Matt Trivett joining me. How you doing?
That's not how you say my name.
How do you say it?
Trivet.
Can I just say that your shirts
it gets pushed forward. It gets pushed forward by the blazer, but I like that we both wore green today, Alex.
Yeah, we coordinated this actually. I'm thinking about dabbling in a top button.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I don't think I want to show off any skin.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, however, the Nips are on show. We won't be seeing Nip today. In fact, they were going to be playing on Saturday. Look at that, nice little segue. For now, though, we are going to reflect upon what happened on Super Sunday, because it was a rather brutal affair. Lots of very quick games, quick being the kind of in air quotes there. We did get to see basically some stomps. It's to the point where you saw, you know, your 3s, your 7 rounds. It was kind of insane just how kind of close the final game of the day did get, but 16-7, 16-3 for Flipside, falling by the wayside again and again. It was HellRaisers who really seemed to have done their homework on Nuke. Cash played out rather similarly as well. Following that one, you had a great game. Chad, you were casting this one, Fnatic NaVi, but I don't think anyone was expecting the result there.
Absolute blowout from Fnatic. That's good to see they're in form, you know? It's a team who we don't know much about, and they're having some good online results, and this is exciting ahead of New York.
Very much so, and of course New York is just around the corner as well. 16-4 start for FaZe. Nobody, again, was anticipating that on the desk. We were all leaning towards the Danes, given that they had played the map recently elsewhere, but this time FaZe seemed to come up and show up. Dignitas unable to kind of break out of their static CT sides, and according to the Australian on the desk anyway. Our final map was Overpass, and it did venture into overtime. Not quite the second, though, after some fantastic work from Rubino and co. Just trying to try and close things out. They couldn't in the end. This, though, is where it does kind of affect the big games. You can have a look at the NIP now, 13-5, almost locked in alongside NaVi. But look, just a little further down, your 4th to 8th starts getting rather toxic, in fact. You've actually got a whole lot of teams sitting on that 9-loss threshold that we outlined before, Chad, and it's starting to get rather interesting.
Yeah, anything can happen at this stage of the season. There's so many matchups that I can see being 1-1s, and it's too early to start theory crafting who's going to make it to the final, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Envy's an intriguing one as well, Matt. I mean, sitting 7-7, it would be. I feel like it would be a surprise to see the French side in the top 6.
I don't.
No?
No. I mean, they just won Gfinity. They're coming back to form. Are you talking G2 or Envy? Sorry.
I'm talking about Envy.
Yeah, no, I think they just won Gfinity, and I mean, they're back to form a little bit. I wouldn't say out of the slump entirely, but they're on the rise. And right now they're sitting at that 7 losses. You guys said that the 9-loss mark was arguably the cutoff point. Well, there's some other teams that are already on that, and I don't know. With 6 teams going through, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that they'll be at the land.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible. It would be nice as well just to see them continue this rise to form, which we're kind of crossing our fingers for.
Do you know what else isn't impossible? HellRaisers potentially making it to the top 6. I'm a bit early.
Can't see it happening.
Okay.
Too early.
Have you seen this? You're a little premature.
It's not impossible.
Hold on to that for just a moment, because I'm going to show them what is coming up today. He's excited, and that's exactly what we'll be talking about once we do show you the matches for today. It is HellRaisers that will be doing, well, the best they can versus NaVi on train. Not forgetting NaVi did just concede a 16-3 loss on the very map yesterday versus Fnatic, so it's not out of the realms of possibility. After that one, you'll get to see Cobblestone between NaVi and HellRaisers, and we've seen, in fact, NaVi have a bit of a wobbly cobble as well. A wobble cobble. So that's going to be happening.
Somewhere else with that one.
That did go down just yesterday, and you get an opportunity to see them again, this time versus the Raisers of Hell. And actually, Dignitas are back with another battle with Astralis. It seems like these guys are meeting every other day. I think I even saw a tweet claiming that they are kind of tired of this domestic roster that they keep encountering time after time. It loses its shine, but it's going to be intriguing to see if Dignitas and Astralis can go ahead and make us a spectacular game. Of course, that's the Score Esports hot match of the week, so one to look forward to. We'll be seeing who does prevail, given that both sides have had a little bit of an unpredictable element to their play. Our first
something
game,
in my eye.
Is there?
Yeah, I just thought, what is it?
Let me have a look. No, you look okay.
Is that a reflection of me in your eyes?
It always is.
Oh, nice.
Do you see my pupils dilate as well?
Yeah, there's a pickup line that goes along with that. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, what's your best pickup line?
It's not appropriate for broadcast, I don't think.
It's one of those. Yeah. Okay.
Usually I just go over and say, hey, it might be skinny, but it's real short. And then if she laughs, you know she's worth talking to, and if she's not going to laugh, she's going to walk away. Well,
I don't think pickup lines are a real thing. Do you have any pickup lines, Chad, that you like to go to with the girls down under? Hey, how you going? Yeah. Wow, he's a charmer, this one. Anyway,
see, that doesn't work at home, but if he's in Germany or he's in Europe, hey, how you going? The Aussie accent, it works like a charm.
Absolutely, it's like an aphrodisiac over here. For now, though, let's go ahead and reflect upon those rosters. Let's bring them up, because it is going to be HellRaisers going up against NaVi. You know the names by now, and we have updated it. Dead Fox is the new blood on the block, alongside Sticko, Zero, Bondic, and Angel. You guys know what NaVi are doing as well with new addition Simple. Now, Chad, you can talk about HellRaisers and their chances. You genuinely are building a picture of this, or are you just having some fun here?
No, I'm having some fun.
Okay, drop it.
Like, so if they take a map off NaVi, they've done fantastically. But mathematically speaking, the way that we're currently sitting, they could potentially make the top 6. If they were to, it's not impossible for them to win a couple of maps and potentially sneak in there, depending on how close it gets. Other teams
So
might
what are the
mess
up-and-coming games? You got it in front of you.
NaVi, Envy, Mouse, FaZe, and
God, that's horrible. They've got a real
let's
struggle.
Just say, in a perfect world, they could. They're not going to.
They could.
But we can have some hope. If they do in this game, they get a win, then the hope lives.
Chad's not wrong. I mean, it's our job to be dramatic and build storylines so that we enthrall the viewers into some sort of realm that doesn't actually exist. And HellRaisers making the land does not actually exist, but god damn it, we want to make people believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, a realistic discussion would be NaVi, because if you actually look at their route to the finals now, it actually looks rather tame. I think their biggest challenge is Envious. They have to play Envious in a two best of ones. Then alongside that, you've got HR, Dig, and Heroic. That's NaVi almost locked in for Brazil.
Yeah, I think they already are. They're definitely a team who I can see making those finals.
I can see making the final. I can't see a final without them right now.
They would have to lose all of them, basically, to not make the finals, which is kind of an obscene concept. So we have almost guaranteed we get to see the CIS beasts in action on LAN once again, and of course with Simple alongside that roster. That should bode rather exciting. But let's start reflecting a little bit on this first matchup. I mean, HellRaisers, NaVi, everyone I assume is leaning towards NaVi by a rather large margin. Am I safe assuming that you don't have any faith in HellRaisers here, Matt?
No, I've been picking them on baseless predictions. I've been right every time.
You've been right every time.
I'm not going to do that tonight. I think it's got to be NaVi. Although what they showed against Fnatic was pretty appalling at the same time.
And that's where I'd like to start this discussion, Chad. How's your memory? Could you reflect on why on earth we saw just 19 rounds of train? Fnatic just dominated them?
They didn't really look like themselves. They were playing really passive. They got exploited at Vines by Twist, who was aggressive, picking up 1 to 2 kills every time he went aggro, which ruined their default. And then from there, they tried to recover, but they should have sent like a squad out to take Twist down. Every time it seemed like they did, he was able to make a trade. But the thing which is important for me for this Cobble matchup is if HellRaisers can have a strong CT side. That's what we've seen out of them these last few times. When they beat VP, they had a super strong CT side. And that's the most important part. If they can carry that across here, they might have a shot, I think NaVi are on a bit of a confidence downswing after those losses. So I think they will bounce back. They have the mental fortitude to do so. But if HellRaisers want a chance, strong CT side is important.
So, I mean, so it does already sound like you're kind of writing them out of train, but from what you saw from Cobblestone, they could very well be a split series here.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the train game, I know we didn't see anything good out of NaVi, right?
No.
Like, it was just really confusing, but I don't think that you can emulate another team's style so quickly. HellRaisers can't just copy what Fnatic did.
No, God, no. I mean, the Fnatic fast-paced play is actually what's catching NaVi off right now because they don't have the slow-paced tactics that they normally would have when they did have Zeus in the lineup. It's simply that they've got Simple. That's not meant to sound that way. But, he's a faster style of player. He's more aggressive. It's going to take time to implement him. They've swapped him over to that secondary op role. And that's actually when some of the problems started. So good for them for starting the season with him just kind of slotting into a role, getting the wins they needed. Now they're in a position to go through to LAN. Now they can start. They've got some time to start flirting with, different positions and whatnot. I do agree, though, Cobblestone's a huge issue for them in the fact that they normally only get 5 rounds anyway in the CT side. So if Guardian doesn't go off, they're usually left out.
Which has been the real problem. I mean, Guardian hasn't had that game in the whole week. I think we've seen him play. It hasn't been that Guardian performance that we always kind of see as a guarantee. In fact, it wasn't too long ago on every desk we'd sit there and just go, Guardian's going to perform. It's about everyone else. It feels like that storyline's kind of faded into obscurity recently.
He had some good games.
He has.
But he hasn't been consistently having good games. Like, we saw flashes of him getting like multi-kills with the AWP and stuff, and the only saving grace that I think last time I saw them play Cobble was Simple and Guardian with the AWP getting multi-kills and winning them 2 gun rounds alone, basically. So I think the problem for NaVi, this transition period into Simple in the new role, is probably where the issue is right now.
Sure.
But versus HellRaisers, they should be confident as hell. They know.
See how words take advantage of you like that?
Simply simple. I like it.
Yeah. They should be confident.
Confident as hell. Now, just while we are just talking about the intricacies of train, I want to take this opportunity to ask you a little bit about something you hinted at yesterday but didn't have a chance to explain yourself. You were talking about Ivy being a very big focal point on train for the T side. Now, could you explain as to how much of an emphasis you mean on that?
So most teams only leave one player as a caretaker, and their job is
on the T side?
The CT side.
Okay.
Sorry. That's just to discourage them wanting to take that zone. Sometimes you leave an AWPer there. It's just one player usually. It's very easy to negate that player with good Molotovs and smokes, and you can push him away. When you push him away, he has no information. He has to call for backup because he has to either take the sunny side or the dark side, as I call it. You know, go around
T1, T2.
Yeah. So if he picks one side, he needs a teammate to come and cover the other side because he can't physically watch both. The smoke will negate one side. The Molotov will force him back. The only way to beat that is when you see that stuff coming in, you smoke yourself and play in front of it, and you're ready to take a duel. You're probably only going to trade out 1 for 1, but normally the Vines play by the Ts is just to scare you back. And when you scare a team back, that's when you start to gain the advantage. You get map control, and from that point, it makes it easier to do executes because it makes other parts of the map weaker.
So you're rarely actually executing via Ivy. You're never actually, your main force, the main spearhead of the assault's coming from Ivy.
It's totally a support play. I think not even just pushing the player back that's there. It's like you said, though, calling for that second player opens up so much more space in the front of the site. Specifically, if you watch Astralis, Kerrigan and now Kierby play it, and Kierby's often rotating over to help Kerrigan. That opens up all of A main. So then you run the wall of smokes. There's no one forward of the wall of smokes. They run in, they take over all of the alley or sandwich. I call it quad, but it's sandwich. Take over all that position. CTs are pushed back. You start to get a perimeter out by E-box. You run in for the default plant every time. There's no one in front anymore to cut it off, unless your guy at lat, like you're playing in pop dog. You're playing aggressive with that third guy.
So that's actually really interesting. So during this game, we'll have an opportunity to just see what that T is doing. It must be so that's a very influential role. You must be everyone's relying on you to not only draw fire, not die early, not get picked by an AWP. God, there's a lot.
Same as on most maps, throwing a fake on the other side. You're literally pulling utility to force a rotation, but it's just it's on this map. It just happens to be in a confined area
on that same site. And then of course on the complete other side of things, when you are operating Brown Halls B, when you are trying to hit that inner site, I presume you still send someone towards that direction, or to an extent to try and keep it kind of concealed, a bit of kind of cloak and dagger, or is this an all-in play often?
Well, there's 2 prongs to that. You want to go brown walls early in the round. If you're going to hit outside straight off the bat, then obviously you're not really worrying too much about that part of the map. But when you send a player, usually you want to try to send 2 people, right? You send 2 people towards Ivy, you push them back, you leave 1 guy babysitting T mid, and 2 guys go white/brown walls. Now, the reason for that is you want to be able to trade in brown walls and you want to be able to trade at vines. And those are the 2 parts of the map you want to take control of first.
Roger that.
So they're almost equally important. I think vines just opens up more opportunities because you can do like an in-split. Heroic's a good example of a team who they do the deep smoke, and then they were getting, I think it was Glaive to lurk through it. This was at DreamHack Bucharest. And somebody else was, flashing for him or just kind of going out the other side. And he almost was throwing his life away so Glaive could sneak into the back line. It worked on one occasion, didn't work after that because they were cottoned on. But there's so many plays you can do from there. You can do inside splits where you smoke off the sunny side.
Yeah.
You go around city spawn and then you split from inside. But both of those parts of the map, you can waste the person who's holding their utility, so inside and vines, their utility really quick. I keep calling it vines, and I would just stick with Ivy.
We know what it is. Vines, Ivy, Vines, Ivy.
I feel so American saying Ivy. I'm betraying my people.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Be an Aussie.
I betrayed mine long ago.
Yeah, just do it. Rock and roll. We're learning all of your Australian calls. What is the most ridiculous Australian call out? Is it Diggity? He's in Diggity.
Yeah, but we can't use it anymore. There's no more Inferno.
Oh, you're right. Was that Pit? Was that what it was?
No, it was Quad.
Okay.
Quad side.
Diggity. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
I don't know. We have like...
You got some ridiculous...
I know you got Dildo.
Ones.
Yeah.
Dildo.
And I have a feeling I know what you guys call the hitch on train.
What do we call it?
Gooch?
No,
I heard
that's
that
like,
a few people
that's
called
like,
that.
Like suicide on Dust 2.
Ah, okay.
What? Suicide is called Gooch?
Yeah, we have like 3 names for it.
Okay, of course you do.
Yeah. There's another one. There's one we call Gypsy.
Okay.
That's on Cobble.
Yeah.
Just a random name.
Just there's a Cobble. Yeah.
You know the big door on Mirage, like in the A site? It's like real huge.
Yeah.
I call that Gatsby, the Great Gatsby.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I remember hearing you guys talking about Cobble. What was it? It's Cobble. You got Romeo and Juliet.
Yep.
Is that right? And that's balcony, right? Balcony up and down lower.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good one. I'm going to steal that one. I still don't have a name for the little. I call it lots of bad things. The little room where you break the vent on the retake.
Vent room.
He is a genius. Yes, Rain Man. Okay, it's Vent Room. That's better than...
I think it's time we just throw out all these maps and bring in 7 new maps.
Really?
Wow,
let's do it.
okay, sure, yeah.
So what are we talking? Are we talking
maybe
maps?
this year's getting interesting again. Maybe let's do it at the end of 2017 after the Asian invasion.
Okay, I mean, I'm still an advocate for Season. I want to play Season, man.
I want Season, I need Crown, I want a no mid map, I want Mill.
Yeah, okay,
Tuscan?
So we need...
Tuscan, okay.
So we need the Muppet that is Brute to release the map, and then Valve can take it and do what they need with it.
Have you played
That guy's
Santorini?
a clown. No.
I haven't played it either.
Santorini's all right. I just think it's too narrow, too choke pointed.
just tried to play
it plays really well. It's quite balanced in terms of like just like a matchmaking, but I find it way too closed off and too much choke points.
There's lots of competitive versions of Aztec, like
small.
Remix. I reckon Aztec would be a really good competitive map.
Dude,
with a
I
few
actually
more
think so
pathways.
too. Yeah, I think as well. I think if you opened up a lot, like you could a secondary entrance to the B from water, maybe. Like,
have you not seen 3 Clicks Philip?
Yeah, there's so many of them.
Yeah, he's been he did a whole video of like 8 different alterations.
I think it's a good map because there's lots of different variations of height.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and because one of the problems was that when you were actually kind of underneath the walkway, there was no way to get up. They actually had just a little ladder on the side, and that was enough. Just
I think that they actually had that at the end of 1.6. Someone made a model of the map that had that as well.
They did that.
Yeah. I think that, like, okay, so in all seriousness, I don't think it's time to throw out the 7 maps yet. I was kind of joking. I was being facetious. But the point is, in like 2 or 3 years, if the game's getting really stale and things are dying off, I think that's when you do it.
Just go.
Get them in. Let's start all over, boys.
Or you do it like you do a league. You put some money into a league and just see what the new teams do with them. That would be interesting.
The other thing that I think would be cool for that is if you want to do a retro tournament, you bring in the first version of Mirage, you bring in Volcano's version of Train, you bring in
the first version of Cobble made my eyes bleed. Let's not do that.
Well, no, that's a Valve map. You could do it there. Well, it was also a very different map in its layout, but like the Mirage one's almost the exact same. It's just
I see what you mean, the classic textures.
You could jump across the top of the A site because they had the wooden canopy there. When you come out, there's a railing on Shadow, so it kind of held you up a little bit. You had to jump out of Palace, but yeah, there's all kinds of little ones like that you could do.
Well, I actually like this idea. It's just for fun, just for some giggles and some goofs and some gaffs. We're going to have some goofs and gaffs in this match, though, because it is coming up very, very shortly. It's almost time to start that prediction train, and of course it is on train. And I also realised that there's no point in doing predictions for train, because I know what you're going to say.
NaVi.
Yeah, NaVi.
Yeah,
They'll bounce back up.
All right, well, there's a lot of faith for NaVi. And before we do throw it to your casters, because it does seem like they're still waiting on a member of... Oh, wait, we've been practicing this, haven't we? No, that's not right. You gotta like you tap them on the shoulder and then you raise yourself and then there you go. So you're holding your mouse. Yep. You know when you're celebrating. I feel like the hand clap. I'm not sure about this.
I don't like that. This is easier. You just do that one.
So like nice, nice.
What's this thing that Happy and that do? It's a little.
Oh yeah. So that actually started from Fnatic one time.
Right.
Astralis used to do it to make fun of them. This is just like an evolution of it. They always fist bumped. But then I think it was Crims went like this, and then they weren't sure like what they were doing, and they just ended up doing this. So then Astralis would go.
Wait, what?
Every time, that's what they do. So then I think NV just took it to the next level, and that's where it all started.
It's all about morale, man. It's all about morale at the end of the day. Giving someone that little... Good job, mate. Good job.
It's like in tennis. Even after they lose, they still...
Do they do the little... Do they do it?
They still do. So they always go to each other.
Oh, like in doubles?
Yeah.
Whack their rackets together.
Yeah, I don't know.
Connect their balls.
You know what you do in hockey? You usually just spank them on the bum.
I don't understand that in sports.
Why is that
Nothing
a
wrong
thing?
with a little butt grab.
But why? Like, grab ass? What?
I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing wrong with grabbing a little ass every now and then.
And on that bombshell, Game 1 is about to begin for the ESL Pro League. It's going to be NaVi taking on the Razors of Hell. Everything points to NaVi picking this one up, despite their performance just yesterday versus Fnatic. Let's see what your casters have to say, though, as it's Pansy standing by to guide you through.
Yeah, get wrecked, Mitch.
You what? Are you good? Get rid of my lower third, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
I don't know
just
why
me
Chad's got
standing
such a
by.
problem with the butt grabbing as well, because in AFL, the Australian football, that is a big thing, and everyone wears really short shorts. It's very camp, but it's just the way we've done it for so long.
I don't know if it would work for gaming though. You'd have to stand
Get
up
some
for
motivation up your... I don't know.
it. Up you is an interesting way of phrasing
That's
it.
an
for this
Australian
sort of
term as
thing.
well,
Yeah.
but, you know.
I think whenever you say marginally weird things, you're like, nah, that's really normal in Australia. It's like, well, no one can normally prove you wrong. But Chad, can now maybe bring it
Australians,
through,
back me up, please. Yeah, see, to be fair, me and Chad have been fine with that one. But Train, well, they've already talked about it, Lauren. It was not a great performance from from NaVi against Fnatic previously here. But HellRaisers, I wouldn't really call this a go-to map for them by any stretch of the imagination.
Now, looking at the results, it's certainly not a huge one for them. You know, it's playable. It's always going to be playable. But you know, normally, if the Fnatic result wasn't in my back of my mind, obviously hearing from you guys, I'd be like, well, this is easy stuff. Let's be honest. This is NaVi's big map. I think Fnatic's an unknown quantity. I think you have to almost take that very much with a pinch of salt in a way. Like, okay, well, that's a lot of potential shown. But I don't know if HellRaisers can really replicate that. Before, we did see HellRaisers doing some great stuff against, funny enough, Fnatic. Sticko having a great game, a couple of players
Sick
really...
game from him. He's been a Spartan lately for HellRaisers. Really impressive. Dropping 30s, every game.
And this is another big test for Dead Fox, the guy who's coming to be one of the AllPig members on towards HellRaisers. Massive map for him. Big AWP-centric map here. I mean, we saw even what, old mate Simple can do up around the trains here on A with the AWP. But let's jump into the pistol round now. It is going to be HellRaisers on the CT side, and it's a 3-man stack towards Ivy that will uncover absolutely naught. No, but even if you don't see stuff, that's information in a way. It means that Zero now needs to be really careful. And the point is staying alive is probably more important than just getting one and dying and they get the plant. So let's see if he can just kind of get the picture of what's coming their way. They're going to see the smokes coming down. They're going to see these flashes probably pretty soon. They're going to have to respond, HellRaisers. They might be in a good position, but actually they left Dead Fox and Sticko out towards Ivy for a really long time.
A long
So
time.
there's going to be 3 players coming over pretty fast. Bondic's there, and you've already got Angel down extremely low. That's going to be the biggest problem in my eyes.
Yeah, him getting smacked upside the head so early on the round is going to be hard for him to brawl back in against the Glocks here. But Bondic manages to do good work on towards Simple. Now, most of HellRaisers have been able to respond. Now, the kit's on Sticko. Keep an eye on him. A good man habit on as we've seen him stay alive quite a lot. Edward, find the shot. Not quite, he'll back away.
Even just Edward staying alive is a huge nuisance, though, because they have to clear him out. Keep in mind that someone's going to be around behind us at some point. C's does find Sticko, but as I said, Edward will always be where this eventually stops. He's going to find one. C's finds the other. It's just 0 left with 3 players against him. Again, Edward, really nice positioning. I like what HellRaisers did, though. I like them taking initiative on these sort of rounds. Just going, all right, let's just try and go Ivy. 3 of us, stack it out, let's go. Try and do what we can. You know, we can't really deal with maybe that Glock train coming in with just one of us sat there. So let's try and be active about these things. And I like that sort of approach. It didn't really particularly work out for them. But again, NaVi taking the lead isn't something that we'd be too surprised about. For HellRaisers, for me, it's just they've got to keep really surprising us, bringing us something a little new, trying to catch NaVi unawares.
I mean, for HellRaisers, their first port of call should be those pistols, though, trying to get them and get themselves set up for the next few rounds. But they can't do much about it now. Dead Fox picks it towards Ivy, sees 2 players. A flash is going to force him back pretty quickly, but Angel takes a kill elsewhere on the map, and Bondic as well. Not too bad from HellRaisers here, building into this round with some momentum, even after losing the pistol. But now NaVi strikes back. Or is it Sticko? It is. He comes in with the scout, and it's going to be Guardian and Flamey in a 2v3.
And Guardian's looking to change this one. He's going to hear these steps. Bondic is not being particularly subtle about this, so he should go down. Now, that's going to open up an avenue of approach. Now, he's not going to take it. He's going to try and help out Flamey here. Try and group up, maybe, and try and hit this A site. But they have to negate that man. Sticko can still be a threat, but we know that Guardian can handle himself, but he's tagged up. 35 HP isn't much to play with.
Both of them.
And that scout can be incredibly troublesome. That's why you could see the step out from Flamey, trying to bail out Guardian, allow him to cross towards the site. But it didn't go so well, and there you go. Sticko, the man we just spoke about, already having a nice performance. If they can get the AKs, they couldn't make it. That's a shame. That could have been a lovely pickup. But still, being able to turn it in round 2 is big.
Well, look, late round, NaVi have no smokes left to negate the scout factor, and they have 2 tagged up players. So very, very easy for Sticko to come in and pick up the kills there. And like you said, they've halted the economic burgeoning here for NaVi. They're not going to be able to buy much into this round at all. Flamey gets himself a deagle, and Seast has a pittance in terms of utility to work with. So NaVi might have to work this one through together. It seems to be the case right now as Brown Halls is the target. Already an early smoke thrown, and that was from HellRaisers. And Seast holding on to his utility for the moment.
Now, the weekend that I just had, we saw so many of these rounds where there's no credence to actually believing of anything. It does seem to work out, but this one should be all for a plant, pretty much. It's quite likely they'll get it. They've got C's with the smoke and the flash there. That should be able to allow them to play out from this. And simply enough, it should be 0 farming after that. I like the molly, going to deny them the ramp access, force them elsewhere. But still, this is quite slow from NaVi. They're just trying to see if they can maybe find a way in. Find a little bit of a weakness. There's the flash. It's good. Again, it lets them out on the side, but the plant is everything right now. He's in the hands of Guardians. Keep your eyes towards him as well. 0, going to be doing what he can, but the nade found Edward, but still, the bomb is down. That's enough of a victory here for them. Great nades from Bondic, and the follow-up in the end from Flamey. Towards Flamey. But yeah, it's fine. That's what NaVi wanted. It's the best they're going to get. And HellRaisers pretty clean too. Yeah,
and for HellRaisers, it's quite tricky to actually know where the bomb is actually going to go if they're just trying to plant it, because you see NaVi buy in with just 1 smoke, 1 flash, so you don't have enough. I guess it's not enough to convince HellRaisers that it's a full-blown hit towards the B side until people start pouring out. So HellRaisers are always going to be a little bit slower, a little bit more reluctant to give up the A side and try and respond to that in that case. So they allow the bomb to be planted. They allow NaVi to get some guns back into this round. Round 4 sees them with 5 AKs.
Bit cheeky from HellRaisers, but their money's not great. These have been back and forth rounds. Again, you know, they have
the famous players currently upgrade here, so.
And to be fair, I'd rather them have that bigger deal of utility to be able to keep NaVi under wraps to some degree, and Zero's in for such a tough time. He's going to be starting out towards B by himself. No one yet to pick up the AWP. Maybe once Dead Fox picks it up, he could be playing those, you know, Brown Halls, start working off the back of that. I hope to see some of that. But for now, it's very tough to keep NaVi down on this. We know that they do have these lovely plays on this site. Whether it be the split through Ivy, through CT to this, they have so much variety coming into it. Zero's got to be aware of it. And what does he have left? Only a flash. So again, not in a good position yet. He's going to have support from Angel coming in now, and the flashes, they're already out.
No chance. No chance for Zero. He gets cut down, and Angel was still on his way towards this side. He attempts to stray with a Famous through the smoke, but doesn't really catch onto too much at all. Now HellRaisers respond, but it may be a little bit too late, as Edward's already taken so much ground. He's up in the face of Angel, and the man had no chance to even respond. Dead Fox, Bondic, Sticko, all taking big steps back away from this one, not even looking to challenge. Now, maybe the presence today, they could have expected Guardian to buy in Glass Cannon and have an AWP and actually try and work the wider site here, but maybe not the best read. Quite often we see B left a little bit lighter, and Angel was a little bit too late on the rotate. But to be fair, Zero did drop very early on.
Again, though, it's hard to read NaVi. You know, there was no information given anywhere. The CT side didn't look for it. HellRaisers were pretty cautious. They wanted to sit back, maybe expecting something else coming through, but still, Dead Fox wants to keep hold of this as much as he can. You know, it's more just the armor, the flashes, everything else, and he can kind of play almost off the back and allow him to play contact with Bondic there. But yeah, for me, they can still rebuy in this, not perfectly. Zero's the biggest issue here. That's the problem. He's on 2.1k. They can be kind of sharing out the wealth, which is what they're doing, dropping each other the weapons. But there's going to be people left without. And this is going to mean that NaVi now has that window of opportunity to build back into this with a really nice buy. Now with the mollies, they can do those plays down Ivy that we heard the desk talking about. They can kind of clear out corners, force the CTs off of positions, making them kind of uncomfortable. And it seems like a faster hit. Look at Guardian straight out here through main, not messing around. The smokes are quick. This is NaVi with a really quick pace. This is what we were expecting before. Now it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Bondic left in a while to trouble. Edward cuts him down, but Sticko in a great position.
Yeah, comes up towards E-Box there, and Edward didn't have the chance to pull out his gun, but Simple responds. It's a 1v2 now. The bomb is dropped, not on the site where it needs to be, and Simple now has to deal with Zero and Dead Fox.
Well, Simple gets spotted on the cross. That's already a huge problem. Well, the point is he's 28 HP. Bomb's down. It's reachable, so that's not the issue, but still, the crossfire's pretty well set. Dead Fox shouldn't allow a full cross to make Zero uncomfortable, and there it is. Crossfire kicks in, and you're fine. And I feel as though that was the play they maybe expected or wanted to see from NaVi, or maybe just that kind of hit towards A because they were ready for that. And Sticko's positioning, pushed up, and I think it was the kill towards C's that he got, like the last couple of bullets towards main that was just that step too far almost. It was like a cheeky pickup that you don't normally often see. Normally you trade maybe 1-for-1, but he found a great angle to work from, and that's kept HellRaisers in this game. Depleting the money away from NaVi a little bit here. They're still fine to buy, but it gives at least something back towards HellRaisers.
And really no thought to go towards the AWP at this stage yet for Guardian. NaVi playing a lot faster than they did against Fnatic. Fnatic, who especially also had very advanced positioning towards that A side as well. Quite often those players like Twist or, or Lekro pushed up to E-Box to receive on that CT side, and that's what really unraveled NaVi. It caused them to play way too slow for way too long and not have enough initiative or step to the site. This time, though, a little bit of a different story. Again, the 5 AKs, a little bit more immobile as a unit NaVi can be. But Angel will be challenged out here first on uppers. Simple's going to be there with Edward.
And I love this angle. You can be right down on the left side of the train. It was something that people were discussing actually recently. And nice movement from Angel there. And his aggression not being punished for once. You know, he's playing quite calm, playing on the sides, making NaVi come to him. This is good. This may... They can't actually get the bomb down either, actually. Simple gets taken down, now seized. Left just watching his teammates fall. That was disjointed, and I really like the early support from Angel that time. Before, he was quite late on the rotate. This time, they're almost instantly. Zero didn't get picked out on his own.
I really have to wonder, and I do. I'm concerned to see how NaVi respond to a match like they did against Fnatic last night. How they respond in terms of how they play Train. It's supposed to be one of their best maps, and it was not a very strong performance from them at all. We're seeing some stuff here now that we didn't really see the other night, of course, but it's not all worked out for the better. That's the thing. 2 rounds where they had 5 AKs into it. Now NaVi are back to the pistols here, very much just a clean eco in this case. So we'll see if they make a switch later on, but I mean, there's not too much to read into this round, Lauren, here. It's going to be Lambs to the slaughter potentially as they can push on to A. Sticko, Bondic, and Co going to be there to give the alarm signal and try and thin out the herd.
Yeah, NaVi just going to go for it, and look at that. They line up and they drop down. Sticko just controls everything. The site is his, and he's not going to let that one slip beyond. So, I don't mind NaVi trying it as well, because normally if you're against a team who's just on pistols and such, you'll expect to be. So maybe they were trying to get away from what could have been a couple of players additional towards that B side, maybe just hoping for anything at that point, because they only had Glocks. It was very much just Jericho. So 5-2 though. This is good so far from HellRaisers, but it's still NaVi and it's still Train. So I wouldn't put them in a position where you'd say, well, this is an upset yet. Not yet. This is good from HellRaisers, but NaVi yet haven't kicked in. We haven't seen that big performance. We haven't seen these guys stepping up. This looks like a set piece as well coming in. Look at the amount of mollies and smokes that are lining up here. It could be just a nice hit towards A.
It's an outside play, yeah.
It looks like it, and Edwards maybe waited to play off the back, but again, they haven't really sold anything towards B, but Angel's there very early. So actually, they've got the fight against 3 for once rather than that 4-1 split. So this could be quite good for them. No pressure down Ivy, though, means that deadFox can still play from this sort of position. Smokes are in. That kind of cuts the side to more of a manageable position for those Tech-9s. Let's see if they can actually connect them.
deadFox now just backed away behind the train, shot through the smoke. Why not? Guardian's going to fall there. Sticko as well, just forging himself ahead now. More than happy to get into the face of NaVi, who want to close the gap and use these Tech-9s as effectively as they can. He's hoping to do just that. It's cut down himself, and now Sticko also falls. So it's a 4v2. Edwards managed to pick himself at some point up an M4 here. The bomb is down at least, but Simple falls, and now Edward on his own. They'll be able to buy in the next round, NaVi, especially with the plant on the back of that one, but Edward still doesn't really want to take this one, and fair enough, it's 1v4. Bomb gets defused, that's fine. NaVi have to just accept that.
Yeah, and, well, it was actually a bit of an investment, let's be honest. It wasn't a light one, but it'll be perfectly fine. They can buy into this round, so again, Edward keeping hold of that means they at least build some money. If they needed a drop, he could have done so. So that's quite nice for him, at least a little bit of a buffer building through. We finally get to see a nice AWP battle as well. I feel like Guardian's kind of been a little bit quiet for me so far. Haven't seen him
We
quite,
just hasn't AWP'd, yeah.
Exactly, we haven't seen him making the big impact. And now he's got the AWP, he's going to head towards Ivy. He's got his kind of 2 bodyguards with him. They're just rolling out right now. You've got Seized and Flamey there. And now Guardian having a little bit of a peek, see if there's anything coming his way. No one's really been pushing Ivy from the CT side. deadFox has been getting away with this. I wonder if he's going to get away with it again.
It's the first time all game we've seen NaVi actually commit so many resources to this part of the map now, and it might be a jumping run boost and then Guardian to just capitalize off the distraction factor. Gets the leg. Not going to be enough, though. deadFox is going to have to back away, though.
It's really nice to put a player on the other side that they haven't seen cross yet. I think it was either Flamey or Seas who got boosted over, so they could trade if needed and be maybe an unexpected angle from it. That's quite a nice little bit of a cheeky play. But now deadFox has to back away from this. Again, maybe NaVi's kind of little foray at the start. They've still got a minute to play with. It's going to mean that they can at least make HellRaisers uncomfortable. But for now, HellRaisers are fine. They've still got all their mollies to play with, so plenty of time to be bought if there is a bit of a late hit coming through. NaVi needs to be very aware of the time now.
And Seas will play a lurk towards Ivy now for the next few seconds, at least in this round, see if he can maybe creep up. deadFox has been shuttled out of the firing line, so to speak. He's been moved way back from Ivy now over towards one of the tunnels there. I think it was... yeah, T2 at this stage, and this is what he's going to do, just sit here and just watch the push out of Popdog. The bomb, still, this is a very slow round from NaVi, considering, I guess, all the hijinks they tried to make happen in Ivy.
I feel like it's waiting on Guardian to get a pick. Just allow him to get some sort of play going on, and deadFox played it really well. It was a risk, though, because they've only had Sticko watching the kind of Ivy push, which can be smoked off, which means they could have maybe pressured deadFox here, but NaVi doing this very late in the round, but C's still going to find Sticko. We're down to 20 seconds here. A couple of mollies still there. Simple's got...
That's not good.
Oh, he's got the ult, but it doesn't matter. The bomb's gone down. Bondic has done enough work here to keep this one in check. Surely, NaVi has 2 players, but 10 seconds left. They just have to stop them. Simple somehow finds Angel, and it's a 2v2. Is that bomb on the site now? It must be. They can still go to the plant, and the spray is awful from Zero, but it does connect, and it will be the round sorted out. But that got way too close for comfort, and Simple's making it costly even after that.
Yeah, NaVi played it very, very slow. It's a problem. You don't really give yourself much of a margin of error if anything goes wrong. And when your main AWP or Guardian peeks in and gets taken down by deadFox, who was already quite weakened from the play that happened towards Ivy at the start of the round, that's not really what you want to see happening when you put so much investment towards that part of the map to actually give yourself a decent step towards A.
I wonder if we're going to have the same sort of approach where it's wait for Guardian to try and get something to happen here. It's, you know, he can provide, he is a provider, but Edward's going to take matters into his own hands, already going to step out from main. Have a little look, see if anyone's playing close. No one's really there. Bondic's on the site itself. You've again got the kind of same sort of, I guess, start from HellRaisers in a way, but deadFox's time isn't quite over by Ivy. They've switched up a little bit here. Sticko's playing quite passive on the kind of corner of it, allowing deadFox to peek to main, which is dangerous, because Guardian's on the other side, bearing in mind. And these sort of flashes are kind of indicating there's going to be a presence, and he just whiffs it on the ladder. I think he got caught up and actually jumped
where he's going,
above it as well, and if you jump well on the ladder, you kind of get thrown up a little bit there. So that's a bit of an unfortunate affair for him, but it does mean that NaVi now have a step towards the site. It's got to make people like Angel question, do I even look at B now? I've got to help out A. And now they're definitely going to need to help out. Guardian starting to pick them apart one by one. This is what NaVi wanted.
Yeah, and the bomb actually hasn't made its way towards the site yet. That's the interesting part. NaVi are just going to thin out HellRaisers like this and play the round through. Zero's over at B here, and NaVi, while they could go looking, they don't really seem to be too worried about the bomb. It's now going to be Guardian probably just to loop back and pick it up and get the plant, but they've done well without that. Edward with 2 kills as well. You saw what he was able to do. He's pushed already right down in towards those CT tunnels. And now Zero, it's a long, long walk here through Brown Halls. A lot of money. I mean, deadFox has 12.8k at the moment, so HellRaisers not so much worried about their guns here, but again, it's just in a 1v4 situation that even if you have the money, it's not always worthwhile just to buy into that one. Just better to prepare yourself, I guess, for the long winter coming if HellRaisers start to lose a few more.
So, looking at this, I'm wondering if this is Navi's kind of response back. You know, seeing people like Edward getting out really easily through main, maybe it's just kind of that little bit of a punishment towards HellRaisers. Like, hey guys, I know you want to keep hold of all that utility you've got, but you're going to have to start using it early, because otherwise we're going to try and really pressure this now. If I'm able to step out, you're in trouble. And it was unfortunate for Deadfox. I do feel he got a little caught on that ladder. I'm not 100% sure if it was just maybe a bad jump on the first one. He got caught out by the flash, but like if you jump from the top of a ladder or on the edge of it, you can kind of like almost bug out
Clip
a little
on
bit.
it
You kind of get
slightly.
clipped
Yeah.
on a little bit. I'm not sure if that's the case, but if it was, a little unfortunate, but again, it is what it is.
It was also possible that while the flash was still there, he thought he'd already jumped, and then as it cleared, he was still there.
Maybe.
The fact that he made the shot before the flash came in, giving himself away, I mean, and then sort of picking up in that position, it's fairly easy to sort of pick him off there. I mean, Edward was very, very quick to respond to that one. So a little bit of a weird round. We'll give it that one. But now NaVi at least get their third for the game. They're going to try and build off of that one. Again, will they test towards B again? Because Zero has been the sole player here. He was definitely challenged out earlier on in the game, and then NaVi decided to try some things at Ivy and try to get an entry, set play on towards A, and that's left Zero fairly bored for the last couple of rounds than being forced to wait it out. So Edward, okay, it's not quite a clean challenge on towards Upper and Zero in the standard spot. Now, you're always pre-aiming that. You're always ready for that kind of position. One player who can work around that quite well, in my opinion, is sort of Shocks and Body when they're playing over on this side. But yeah, very, very hard for Zero to really deal with that one. And then, you know, with the lighter presence on B, you've no way of knowing that the T's are already there. So it's very, very hard to rotate in time. And even Angel got cut down trying to get to the site and help.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough one. Let's bear in mind, Train is a really punishing map. The stats alone kind of speak to this. If NaVi get the first kill, they have an 81% chance of winning the round. That's second highest of their entire map pool. The only one bigger than that is Overpass, which is 83. So this is the thing. It's like if these guys do get, if they see a way in, they're going to take it. That's why I don't mind them playing around Guardian, playing for those picks almost. He's going to get punished there. Nice work from Deadbox just to give him money. He's even to see the ult being picked up, so he knows another. You can't do much about that. But still, the fact from, in my eyes is that I don't mind them playing that style where Guardian has to be the one getting the picks because it can be so successful. It didn't work out on the first time they kind of played it, you know, quite slowly. But if he provides, why not? If Edward has to come in and just kind of exploit the fact that HellRaisers don't have that utility played out early, then so be it. But as long as it works out for them. But at the moment, the scoreline is still good for HellRaisers. 7-4 is very, very respectable. They have gone for the double op, though. Angel and Deadbox, so kind of split in the sides anyway.
Both
But
A.
actually, yeah, that's a little weird.
Zero pushing deep, though, on B for early info. So Angel can rotate quite fast at this rate. Now, Zero sees the smoke. So Angel's there on the side, maybe just in case there was going to be a rush or some sort of weird early push on towards A. I don't really know why Angel didn't set up here. Either way.
He literally just put a smoke towards A and back from it. So this is interesting. I wonder if this is going to hinder him. He seems fine. They've not pushed quickly off the back of it. But he's just jumping around the place. Now the flashes come in. Is this a good enough spot for him? He can still make it work, but...
Yeah, I mean, one of the earlier rounds, actually, he played quite well from here. He just straight jumped, he just jumped across the other train and then actually got a kill off the back. So, I mean, it's such a weird role, this second man at B on this map. You know, you always have to be moving in between the two. Now, Zero trying to make something happen here. Gets one. That's a reasonable trade out here, but Angel needs to find the rest. And NaVi going to try and push up close on him here before he even knows that they're there. Gain that ground. Even Guardian in battle mode right now. But Smokes is going to screen the side off here from HellRaisers, and NaVi can establish presence as Angel's trying to pick them apart.
Yeah, and retaking with 2 AWPs is going to be an absolute nightmare, but Sticko just through the smoke finds one. Just expects the angle. The shoulder peek doesn't work out for Flamey. Angel hits it fast enough. Now this is actually a problem. This is good for HellRaisers coming back into this, and Sticko is certainly at the helm. Now Edward 1v4, the bomb is planted. He knows that there's a touch on the bomb. He has to deal with it, and he takes down 2. It's going for a 3rd. Edward taps away. He can't make it happen, but time.
Angel's got a kit here. Sticko doesn't. And Angel needs to get on it. I think they've just got it here. Just got it, yeah. Okay, well then. HellRaisers managed to bring it back. Interesting round there. I mean, yeah, a bit of a moment for Edward, but that's a pretty crappy situation to have to play from in general. Obviously, you know, we're seeing the dynamic here over at B as well. Zero has to give himself up as a one and done. He's 6-6 in this game, which is quite ironic. So that's often the most he can get. So there's a lot of pressure on Angel actually to be there when he needs to be, to sort of assist at least with that, as that's part of that second wave. And then the third wave, of course, comes in for the CTs when they're confirmed that NaVi are pushing on towards the site.
And again, though, you can see this. NaVi are able to get out through main pretty comfortably until now. That's actually a bit of a difference. Look at them. They're pushed up aggressively now. This is nice. Bit of a switch up, bit of a change. Now, they've lost out one, which is Angel, which is a shame, but they can back away. I like the early presence towards main. I like a little bit of something there. Just, okay, we're kind of getting a little worked out here. Let's switch something up on the diamond. They do.
I think this is something that Fnatic did really well against NaVi as well, like getting up close towards E-Box and you know, sort of forcing movements back and forth in that line of sight. It also helped that Twist pretty much won out the AWP duels against Guardian. So we were talking about, you know, how NaVi like to lean on Guardian getting that first pick in a lot of these situations. When that game, he actually lost, I'd say, 90% of those sort of first picks against Twist. So something to keep track of here as well. I don't really know if Dead Fox is quite the caliber of the aforementioned here, but it may well be a factor if NaVi feel like they need to lean back on that one, because that was their T side. It was actually really quite average. And it hasn't been great on overpass lately either, but there's Zero going in there for one peak now. There's more players than he maybe bargained for there. Another one and done from the man, but still information's pretty good.
And that's sloppy from NaVi, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no one's really watching it. That's the
absolutely
problem.
no one. He could have gone way more out of that. Bondik's though been caught. This has always negated everything, but there we go. Sticker on the flank, gonna find Seized and just take him down. Now it's a 3v2. Bomb is planted, so it's still very possible here. You're down to the two big members. You got Guardian and Simple. If there's anyone you want on this, it's gonna be these two.
We love a big member, don't we? Spray down onto one's Bondik through the wall. That's going to work out quite nicely. Simple. Oh, Dead Fox. All right. Give me a bit of that action. He's well and truly alive at this stage. Now Guardian with 16 points of health. Dead Fox just picked up a kid off that corpse now. So if he can dispatch Guardian quickly enough. This is so cheeky. He's just seen oh, all right then. Flying Fox, maybe. It's going to be the defuse here for Dead Fox. A nice round from him. Fortuitously picking up the defuse kid. And NaVi struggling to make ends meet here on this T side.
Yeah, Guardian was... I think he was about to play that corner, I think, almost, or like they're working up to it there, but...
It's a bit flashy, I liked it.
That could have been so much worse, and that's all a feeling thing, I guess, for Zero, just like, yeah, this is normally the time that NaVi hit the site, right? Screw it, I'll give it a go. You know what I mean? Just let's see if they're here.
It's like waiting for knockoff time.
Exactly, but yeah, I kind of like the way that Guardian just tried to, like, you know, slink down the ladder a little bit, and just like,
just
I'm
got
not
full
here,
wrecked.
don't worry. He did get absolutely wrecked by a... Yeah,
he was low, let's be honest.
Yeah, if he was full HP, maybe something different there, but not the case. Anyway, back into this one, it looks like, again, I like this, again, from HellRaisers. They're starting to use their utility early, because we've seen that there's been those early forays into try and get the picks.
This man here, Bondik, with that early aggression towards Pop Dog, shuts down the player trying to push him, and Dead Fox there doesn't quite connect, but I like this. This might be a little bit too much from Bondik. Maybe if someone picks him from connector as well. Oh, he's looking the wrong way as well. Simple, it's going to be just that. Flash comes in after the fact there, but Simple would already sort of left the scene, and now he wants to get a bit aggressive. This is that facet that he adds to the team that maybe Guardian doesn't all the time, but now Simple has found himself out in the open. Might be a little bit aggressive, maybe a little bit of showboating happening there, and it puts NaVi with only 2 up against 4 here.
I don't know what is going on with NaVi. This is a bit
Welcome
curious
to the
my
last 2
eyes.
days. Yeah.
I went away, I casted some other, I casted, you know, anything. I thought they'd be the ones to be a bit, you know, here, there, and everywhere, but no, it's not. What is going on? All right, Siege 1v4, easy. I've seen you win these. Not now. I love it when people tell me that. I'm like, when have you ever seen me win any of these situations? Are you a liar? 10-4 though, and let's break this down into real terms. 6-2 is the current standing in the last 3 months for NaVi. And the only teams they've lost to were Fnatic. One during E-League and the blowout game where they only got 3 rounds. So it's an as of late thing, let's say. So it is the simple factor possibly. It is the way they're going to switch up the way they play. And it's settling in time. It's as simple as that. You're not going to get everything working instantly, even if it's just, okay, we want him to be a secondary AWP, but they wanted him to fit the lineup in the way they wanted. So it's going to take a bit of time.
I don't even feel like he's the issue here. I mean, okay, that aggressive play out of Pop Dog last round was a bit weird. Yeah, I don't think he's the issue from what we're sort of seeing here. No. A lot of stuff from NaVi is just not panning out the way it should. It comes into execution, it comes into Guardian. Also, he's not being able to be a high flyer. He's not being able to buy the AWP in a lot of rounds. Last night, Guardian had like 3 frags for the whole game.
It's weird.
So that's obviously a big issue in itself, and there's only so much Simple can do. Yes, he always picks up the AWP with Guardian, drops it, but it's always at a man advantage. It's always into a pressure situation. So it's Tech9s and the Galil here. Dead Fox. Oh, he tried to line him up, but no! Flamey going to be able to defy death and jump towards the side, pushing straight through, aggressively so, with that Galil. And Guardian gets the same kind of job done on towards Sticko. Bondik needs to shut them down here, but he's going to be pinched in a moment. A brief window of escape here, and then he gets cut down by Flamey, who was so low as well. 6 health for the man.
To be fair to NaVi, that was a really nice pinch on the site. The timing was good for once. Again, it felt unfortunate that Dead Fox didn't even get one, or, you know, they just kind of got shut out, but NaVi just hit the shots on the execute, and that was actually beautiful to watch. Finally, it happens. Oh, God, don't do this, Zero. I was just singing their praises.
All right, we're Gucci.
Thanks, Seized, for turning up. That's nice of you. But yeah, no, you get a little nervous watching this, and I'm not sure what to make of it. You know, when I looked at NaVi last, they looked okay. You started to see Simple coming in. You know, there was a couple of overpass games here and there. It was good signs. 5-10 on Train against HellRaisers is not what I'd expect.
No, and I've got a funny feeling about the second half now coming up with NaVi sort of moving on to the CT side. It could just be the curry I had before the show, which I wolfed down. It could be something entirely different. Maybe my spidey senses are tingling. Let's go to a break, guys. We'll leave you and we'll return when we see a second side of Train. Back here at the ESL Pro League, ladies and gentlemen. It's been NaVi posting a rather lopsided first half here with only 5 rounds on the T side. Never really saw them get going.
No, it's been underwhelming. Again, I think it's great for HellRaisers. They get to have a good game on Train. It's kind of weird. But yeah, this feels like an... well, they haven't been having a great time on Train, let's be honest, recently.
Exactly.
Like, it hasn't been beautiful. But for them, great confidence-building stuff. But it just feels like NaVi in this weird kind of state of flux. It doesn't feel like their normal Train, of course. So take it with a pinch of salt. It's still kind of getting used to the way they want to play this. I think that the Fnatic game was a bigger I guess.
I think that was the exposure of it.
Yeah, to a higher standard. But I don't know. It's CT side. NaVi can still turn this around. I don't want to just write them out of it because they had a bad half or just kind of normal half, I guess. For NaVi, that's a bad half. For a normal team, it's a normal half. So yeah, we'll find out how this goes. Again, they'll be signed up on the CT side now. HellRaisers do have the advantage, but they can't let it slip here.
Well, pistol round through, it's all going to start. Now, NaVi were at a huge disadvantage after the first half and lost the pistol as well. And then I think Fnatic just hit sights one after another. Edward, though, good opening, finds 0. Does take a lot of damage here, and Simple are incredibly low here. So still, kill comes through with Guardian helping things over on the A side. They're a long-range pick over towards Angel there towards the right of screen. This will slow HellRaisers down a significant amount. Now, still 2 flashes and a smoke for Sticko, so you can still cobble together a 3-man execute sort of mid to late round here, but losing the early players is definitely far from an ideal circumstance.
Seized.
Come on,
Seized? Just
have a shower.
Just end it. Just end it. You can't wash off that shame. It's done. It's done. What is that?
Yeah.
I don't remember the first few. It's like, all right, that, you know, we all have those moments, but that was just awkward.
Now that doesn't tell HellRaisers a lot, really. Edward needs to go, like he's positioned here for like the 1B headshot and hope that he can at least get away with that. He can't jump down from upper now as well with him being so low. Is there a damageless jump you can do from upper? Oh, there's a silent
Probably.
one. Don't know. Anyway, he might have to do that if it does exist, but I actually don't play B when I play this map, so that's why. Anyway, Edward. Blood splatters on the wall there. That's probably his own. Not really ideal. Sticko, easy enough there. He got himself a USP, makes that first shot on towards Edward. So, smoke up in front of Simple here. 1 health Simple. And the bomb's going to go down here. So 3 players now. NaVi have been whittled down after a decent opening, even though they took a lot of damage as a result. So HellRaisers can pat themselves on the back for that. But that's all the utility used for HellRaisers here.
And there's no kits for NaVi. Absolutely none. So anyway, this is such a spineless hit coming in on the retake for now from NaVi. Now, Guardian's been doing some work, but that's it. He's not even going to have the time. Surely not. It's a 1v2, and Bondi can just play the time.
Kit into this?
No, they didn't have a single kit. So again, it's ring of rosies, and Guardian's just like, well, I'll try and make it at least a little costly. I'll try and do something with it. I'm sure he could probably find Dead Fox here, which could be a bit annoying, but it's not going to win you the round. And 3 kills or not, it'll be HellRaisers. Almost 4. No, it wasn't 4. I was like,
Nah, he died of the bomb.
The bomb got him in the end. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get 3 kills in the end. Couldn't do anything with it. And it's been HellRaisers picking up this round. So, again, you'd look at it and be like, okay, well, this could be a nice little run for HellRaisers.
Possibly. I mean, Sticko there almost had a 20-round first half for starters. So, again, this guy is just playing so damn well at the moment. And it's funny because when Zero first came into the lineup, he had such prodigal talent in maybe lesser teams. Yeah. I mean, that's an ongoing story. I'm not going to harp on it, but it's actually been Sticko here really standing up in a big way. And Dead Fox, I mean, you know, he's been alright as well. Just 10 and 6. So, it's been decent from him. We haven't seen much Orb stuff, though, and he's been doing okay there.
Look at the stack. This is really good from NaVi. Now, it's not a surprise that maybe HellRaisers went for this. This is something they've done before, but still, NaVi put 3. Make it 5 players on this side, excuse me. They had everyone here pretty much, maybe one playing towards that connector. And it's left Angel now in such an awkward position. He can still win this, but oh my word, C's just tagging him up, but nowhere near as much as required. And he already knows where Flamey was. So Angel should be able to work this out.
Oh, have a seat, Angel. My God, he had so much time to work with, Lauren. Like a minute. Could even have maybe rotated out of the side if he wanted to. It was a 5 health on Flamey and about 50 odd on Angel there as well. But the USP really is such a nasty weapon to go up against sometimes, especially at range. The USP doesn't quite have the precision.
I feel like it's the only time I've ever seen an actual eco in this game almost win. Or actually win, or an almost eco actually do something rather than the 4 subsets. That was so strange. That was so good. Like, I'm glad to see that it can still happen. That was just nice from NaVi. I think that's why people love to watch this team sometimes, because they don't do just necessarily like complete cheesy stuff. It's like you actually get to see them do some sick plays. So into this one, Dead Fox is going to take a little bit of a clean cut-off for Guardian there, leaving just him and Sticko with rifles. But great hands to be placing them in towards. No one better right now to do so. Sticko's going to find Simple, leaving just 2 alive, but these 2 are fighting back. They're not going down just yet. And where's that bomb? Still over by Pop, but Angel in a really good spot here. He could possibly find Edward, but Edward's, you know, spidey senses are starting to tingle. He's like, that's been open for a while.
It's not quite the Curry sense here, though. He hasn't spotted him. Angel in a better position there as well. I mean, it's kind of the way that the musical spots worked out in the end. So Flamey on his own here, 1v3. He had a good round last round, finished it off quite nicely, a round that NaVi really had no reason to win. And now Zero going to plant this one up. Flamey very far away with a very shaky economy as well. I mean, you can see here the NaVi, I think neither team actually has money, so this is quite an important round in hindsight. So Flamey probably holds his M4 now and doesn't really do too much with it. They're a little bit anticlimactic end to the round, but for him, he's got to be sensible here and make sure he plays a long game, because NaVi have got a big deficit to make up here. It's going to be 6 rounds.
So weird seeing NaVi trailing. I'm just saying, it's like, oh, come on, NaVi, when are you going to stop messing around? But they're not. This is legit.
This is riffles as well. I mean, when, like, I don't know, some people overstate the difference it makes when you put one man into a team. Most people more so grossly understate it. The ripple effect you can have from that as well. Everyone gets sort of shuffled. It's kind of like dominoes. It can take a while for teams to adjust to this kind of thing. Now, Zero just going looking, won't find Flamey, who's just very much taking his time there over towards B. So, no money here for NaVi. HellRaisers, a big opportunity in this round just to play it clean, play it smart, play it safe, and build that economy for themselves.
Look, knowing NaVi, if they just don't buy or upgrade anything, they'll probably win this one. You know, like, I think Flame's probably holding them back here. I don't know why he's gone to save that M4.
A bit out of line, to be honest. I would have even just thrown it over the fence at the end of the round, because now you jinx your team.
Yeah, and that's just rude. Sticko could pick that up for all you know.
Yeah.
You know, he's only got a UMP.
Give an upgrade for free. What's wrong with you?
Just go for the USPSs. Everyone loved a bit of that. All right. Guardian, you know, no. Oh, God. Well, that's not... Thank you for listening, Flamey. That was nice.
Yeah, well, no, Guardian picks up the M4 at least, but I mean, now he's stuck here.
You can throw it across. You can throw it to Edward if needed.
Okay.
Like, I believe in myself. Gets tagged. I don't believe.
Problem is, like, Guardian has a kit, right? So if he dies there, someone probably has to cross anyway to pick it back up. So it was a crap situation anyway. The Hungarian National opens things up pretty well for HellRaisers, though. Nice little peek there down towards Ivy. And now we're going to have to see NaVi just hold on here. Smokes up on the side. Simple gets sprayed down there as well. That was an M4 that got handed over towards him. Now everybody gets to pick it up. It's the gun being passed around. Fortunately, it doesn't really seem to respond well to any of the NaVi players holding it in this round. It's a 5v3. And, well, Stigo finds C's there in connector. Edward is going to be the one to ferret this one away for later.
Yeah, again, Navi's money's not been good. They haven't been particularly doing much damage into this one, so this is great for HellRaisers, and Stico making the money is even better. 2 kills for him this round on the UMP, so actually building up a nice bit of that bank. And Edwards, well, I think he's pretty safe if I'm honest. He's going to be playing this corner with no one coming close to him. HellRaisers want to keep these guns, of course. They have everything they need, and they can upgrade Stico whenever he wants, or he can go towards the AWP, drop that out for Dead Fox. So whatever they need, they're going to have. Their money's getting quite nice here for HellRaisers.
This is like pistol force territory money for NaVi as well. I mean, yeah, they saved that M4, so maybe force something around that bond, but 3K on C's? Ah, it sucks. Really not good. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a force. Not pistols, though. Scout comes in. Famas being handled across here. So NaVi have a little bit to work with, but this is it. This is where you need to stem the bleeding pretty much ASAP, because that buys them down to nothing. Next round, they're going to have nothing. That puts match point. But this is worth 2 rounds, let's be honest.
True, absolutely. This is probably one of the more important rounds, at least to my eyes, even though the buy for NaVi is very poor and their money is very, very low in the fact that they just couldn't afford that utility at all. So if I'm HellRaisers, if you're reading this round, once you get a good display of it, just try and work away whatever they have. Why not be that nuisance? You can see HellRaisers just checking out that smoking case, maybe Sonic gone walking. Flamey does occasionally push up, but not the round. Not today. Not in this one. Again, Guardian going a little bit of spam. No one's there. They've already crossed through. So NaVi needs to be very careful. They only have 1 defuse kit as well, and that's on Seized. So everything's very much on a knife edge. The bomb's yet to really come anywhere. HellRaisers could set up wherever they want. If they get a pick towards A, they can still split through Pop. They can get down there. You've got Angel waiting to maybe pressure B. They've actually pulled 3 players from NaVi over towards B. That was really, really good. Now Guardian and Simple are running back through. They're like, okay, it's got to be an A hit now. Oh, no, it's not. Dead Fox hitting the B side with the bomb. It's Flamey who was going to stop them, but he couldn't. Zero's there, and this is gorgeous stuff from HellRaisers.
Yeah, now NaVi, don't worry about the utility, trying to at least get the kills in this case. Simple sprays that Angel, but it's at the cost of quite a decent chunk of health. But Dead Fox is caught out in the middle of nowhere for whatever reason. Who knows? Zero at least able to reply with 2 quick kills. That's big. That's potentially game-winning kills coming out now. But Edward wants to put this to bed. He wants to get rid of this nonsense and start to mount a comeback with the rest of his team. He manages to find Zero, but the bomb's still ticking away. That kit's there for Guardian, but there's 38 points of health between the entirety of NaVi.
And time's not good either. There's a molly on Bondix. There it is. There's no smoke to kind of put that out, to disperse it. The flames are there. And Bondic, it's fine. He's done the job. He's stayed alive. It doesn't matter if he dies to the bomb or not. It's absolutely fine. There it is. Beautiful round from HellRaisers as well. Just dragging NaVi wherever they wanted over that map. They faked out B a little bit, went back towards A, smoked in. It's like, that's got to be the hit. That's got to be it. As soon as they get over there, right back around towards B, straight in. And, well, let's be honest, no one could stop them at that point.
And that, look, the game state there in the late round was already in 2 or 3 gun save territory for NaVi, so they don't really need too much convincing after the Molotov came down and said, righto, boys, we're done here, let's come back. So, I mean, around that, with the round loss bonus also being a factor, they buy in, well, nothing great, to be honest with you. I mean, it's 2 Famases and a Scout. But, again, utility's a big factor. It's a big problem here. But
that's a bigger problem.
That's going to get even worse now.
Yeah, Dead Fox feeling confident. Why not? You've got rounds to play with here. And you can see the response. Simple's trying to do what he can do. He's almost overreaching it. And Dead Fox, all right, feed the beast. He'll be fine with that. Now they've got complete control down Ivy. They don't know if anyone's going to try and have to fill that gap that's been left there. But what do you do if you're NaVi? You need frags back. You can't withstand a full-on hit towards a site with, you know, what, Flamey just holding B? Or, you know, yeah, you've got to try and find a way back into this. So maybe look towards Ivy. Is anyone pushed up? Can we get one back there? No, not the case. HellRaisers have hit the brakes. They're maybe expecting this aggression to come back in from NaVi, like trying to find a frag or 2. So they're going, okay, we'll just take our time. We still got a minute. We've got all our smokes, all our mollies. We can play wherever we want
4 smokes, 2 mollies. Absolutely more than you need in this case. Well, Guardian and Pop Dog. Flame is also at the end of Brown Halls here. So, I mean, NaVi can in theory, to try and pincer onto this, but Bondic's actually waiting for a push up pop dog with where he's standing with the bomb. So, yeah, really, really hard for Guardian to do anything there, and that's going to leave Flamey essentially on his own. Now, Guardian finds Angel there. That was quite interesting. He was actually pushing out towards A, maybe trying to pull some players across, but now with Flamey reading on towards Zero, getting that kill. Can he get the second? Yes, the FAM's starting to come into play now. He gets up close in brown holes, and he makes that gun do work. Now, Bondic going to get towards the site. There's still 3 to deal with. It was just a fake, but Guardian doesn't care. He's going to come in and get picked off, though. It's just Dead Fox up against 2. What a trial by fire for this man. 3 kills already in the round for him. He needs 2 more to close it out here. And NaVi have managed to buy back in with very, very little and get themselves in the game, at least still, keeping them alive at 7 rounds.
5v3 they did that as well. That's unnervingly good. Flamey's marginally more aggressive position here just paid off, and then some, able to really push back into this. Finding those 2 set it all up. Now, HellRaisers still have money. That's what I mean when, you know, it was left to, I think it was Angel is still alive. It didn't matter if he died to the bomb or not. He was just keeping it safe for that extended period. It was worth him going down for it just to make sure that NaVi couldn't get on it. But they can still buy here, so they're still okay. They went for the utility quite heavily. Dead Fox on the Galil rather than having an AWP of anything. But Guardian has the glass cannon here, so needing to start this one off now.
Well, it needs his first pick, really. It's a one and done for him if he's not quick enough there. Shot comes in, and you better believe Guardian's going to make it happen. Reliable, at least now when it's required. So he's going to join Seized up here up on Green Train, and again, it's a peek over in towards that connector area, or main as you might want to call it. Smoke to Pop Dog. And HellRaisers maybe not so brash and confident now in towards this round. I've seen games throw from here. We all have if you've watched CS for long enough. It is a thing.
And if you've watched NaVi for long enough, you know what they can do once Guardian gets an AWP. He literally used to be able to change games as soon as that went into his hands. Glass cannon or not, it didn't really matter. So I don't think we've seen that form of NaVi where Guardian was the only one, like, you know, really at the forefront. A lot of the other NaVi members nowadays are certainly able to achieve it. You know, you've got Flamey, the consistent member. You've got Simple, a bit of an explosive factor. Edward, always present. Seized, you know, starting to get a couple of results under his belt here as well. You know, as of late, starting to maybe pick up a little bit here or there. But for me, at the end of the day, Guardian has to start turning up now because they've been outdone. Do you know what? Dead Fox has been absolutely doing him over, at least in my eyes. I think he's been doing very, very well for the side. Flamey with a nice little spot here, though. Gonna get flashed up, so he can't see a single thing. But the smoke's actually obscuring their view as well. So he can just turret around, but he just can't lock it into the proper position. What?
There it is.
Guardian? Through the smoke. Absolutely no reason or rhyme to go for it, but he just felt that was where he was going to be crossing.
Yeah, except the fact that maybe, you know, you can understand if they're trying to shut down his AWP, that the T's want to get close up here and train. I mean, it's fairly common to see on the B side, but still pretty nutty stuff here. But no, it's going to be sticking with Dead Fox combining quite nicely. Guardian with the AWP. Now he needs to carry. Now he needs to lift, but he's got no armor and he's got no kit. He has to back away from this one and can't even challenge it all, giving HellRaisers their 15th round. And they, oh my lord, are going to have 8 match points up their sleeve.
Oh, man. This is kind of baffling to see, because I didn't want to believe it until I saw it. You know what I mean? 'Cause you sit there like, okay, well, HellRaisers is a good start. That's what I looked at this game with. All right, nice start. I didn't get to see the Fnatic game, so obviously I was just like, well, you know, maybe a one-off on a bad night. Maybe just didn't really work out for them. This looks like they've really hit a bit of a wall in this one. Just a little bit of a wall. Now, Guardian still has the AWP, so there's still that. We've seen what we can do with Just a Deagle. We've seen these guys achieve a lot in these sort of rounds. But HellRaisers are looking good. It's not just NaVi making mistakes. Sure, there have been some, but HellRaisers are playing well, so do not take it away from them. Men at the front, it's going to be Dead Fox, and it's going to be Sticko for me to make the odds, but it's Angel out first. And he's going to be playing ahead of these smokes and flashes. He's going to try and just go right up in their face, but Simple in a really nice spot.
Can't tell if Simple was spotted there or not. From what I can see, Zero actually knew he was there and is going to be able to get it now. Angel in a great spot as well. The flash came in, but it doesn't matter. Guardian can get a response here. He comes in with the AWP, but he's losing ground and he's losing teammates. He's lost his own life even as Bondi gets up close and uses that Galil to its fullest accuracy. And now Seized can push up on Dead Fox here. That's pretty much a given kill in this case, but he's got a lot of players on the side. He gave his position away with that one, and Flamey can't save the day there with the 5-7. He is cut down, and uncharacteristically, yet again, last night, maybe not so much of a fluke here. HellRaisers, the second team in as many days to take NaVi down on train, and it wasn't even close.
What on earth is going on? That was surprising. That was incredibly surprising for me. You know, I'm glad we got to see the players that we've been kind of singing the praises of for the last couple of weeks, and I guess slightly beyond that was, Sticko, for example, really started to turn our attention at the start of the Pro League, going, actually, this guy's a bit of a contender, but we thought it was a one-off, thought, oh, maybe this is just a peak performance, you can't really replicate that, but we're starting to see some consistency across the board, and Dead Fox having a good game.
It was a really good game from him, yeah.
Really nice. Actually having presence, not just, the kind of like occasional kill here or there, really playing himself through the entire game. But yeah, for me, I don't know what's going on with NaVi. I'm kind of taken aback by this, because you always just felt eventually NaVi will just go, NaVi time, don't worry about it. We'll just pick up where you left off. And it just never kicked in.
We talked about it yesterday. One of Chad's biggest problems with NaVi's T-style was his lack of aggression, his lack of mobility, the lack of forward play. But they tried that. We saw NaVi go for that aggression. You saw so many times it was Edward always at the front with a rifle or something pushing on towards the A side. And a couple rounds were gleaned from there, but it wasn't nearly enough for NaVi. So I'd be interested to see what he has to say about it. Now we've seen, I guess, the encore performance of NaVi. Definitely a few tomatoes being thrown in their direction by their fans. But let's now pass over to the desk and see what they have to say.
Tomato or tomato? Thank you very much, Mitch and Lauren. I remembered Mitch's name this time as opposed to just calling it Pansy.
Just Pansy.
I think Lauren and Leslie is the best way to describe
Lauren
it.
Leslie, that's good.
The LL.
Yes, yeah, the double L's. That would be painful. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this one, because it's happened. It's happened again. It has happened again. NaVi unable to make this happen. You guys, you did already highlight that it was within the realms of possibility for HellRaisers to run away with this one, Chad. But I can't help but feel the primary discussion here is going to be NaVi, what's going on, right?
Yeah, definitely. I was having a quick look to see like the stats of the players and stuff over the last few matches they've been playing, and we've been talking about how C's looks uncomfortable. His stats reflect that. I'm not the guy who will go and look at stats and say that's indicative of how a player's doing, but it shows that he's uncomfortable. You look at his past performances, and he was having better performances with Zeus in the team. Now with Simple in the team, because he's had to change role a lot, he seems to be struggling.
Okay.
And, Simple was also having up and down games, which is, you expect that out of a player like him, but C's on the other hand, you need him to be a bit more consistent. So it might just take time for him to get into his role, but that's a key problem right now. And the T-sides, more inspired today, they did some faster stuff. They looked like they were using their strategies a bit better, but they weren't able to get many rounds on the board.
HellRaisers picking up their first ever win in the history of these two teams versus NaVi. That's a big one for them then, big scalp to take. Matt, you were hanging out and enjoying that one.
I was playing H1Z1.
Surely we can direct some kind of praise towards HellRaisers.
Should have gone with my baseless prediction.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
You absolute fool.
Yep. So next game, HellRaisers will win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Super early prediction. I love it.
So,
just get it out of the way. Can we skip the segment now, too? Is that how that works? That's why we do them.
I'm afraid not.
Sorry,
You go, Chad.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just want to note that Sticko and Dead Fox have been two players for these guys who have been playing really well. And once again, they both stood up. 25 kills for Sticko, 20 kills for Dead Fox, and they get another convincing win. Yesterday it was versus Flipside, so you're like, okay, we know Flipside are down the bottom of the barrel. But HellRaisers putting up a good performance against a team like NaVi shows that maybe my earlier jest about them making the finals might not be so unlikely.
So misplaced, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, if you take a quick step towards NaVi and actually look at their recent results, they have conceded losses, and let me do the scorelines as well. 16-7 versus HellRaisers just now on Train. They lost 16-6 versus Fnatic on Dust 2, 16-3 on Train versus Fnatic. They lost 16-3 versus Virtus Pro over on Cobble. These results are not close. They are not competitive, and this shift of one player... This
literally was when, they switched the roles up.
Yeah, exactly. The moment they got back from that LAN and tried to make something else happen.
The bigger test now for them is if Simple does respect him, like we say. If he came into this roster, was finally going to be, the non-toxic Simple, give them the breathing space they needed to be a better teammate. Now that they're struggling, this is when he oftentimes likes to shift blame to other people, and this is when it starts. You start to see those flaws in his personality. That's what I'm curious about now. Now I'm curious about going to New York, talking to them, and saying, how are things now that there's struggles? Because when it's all fun and games, it's really not a sport until someone loses an eye. You know how it works, and Simple will gouge a freaking eye out.
Do you think so? I can't see Simple in this team, in this environment.
I can't either, but this will be the test. This will be when we find out if that's true or not.
Interesting. Well, we'll see maybe if they can do something on the second map, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and when we do come back, we'll be talking about our next map. What have you got to look forward to next? I had written it down. You've got Cobblestone going to be going down in just a moment, so we get to see if they can do better than their 16-3 result versus Virtus Pro. Of course, I'm referencing all these results. If you want to go ahead and see them for yourself, you can do so over at the Score Esports application. NaVi have been up and down recently, and of course, all of that information is available. You'll be able to track their progress, their rise, and their fall over on the application on your smartphone device. Right, you go grab the Score Esports, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about our second map. It'll be Cobble between NaVi and the boys from HellRaisers.